Hello, welcome back. So nice to have you all here. Had a beautiful day. How's everyone feeling?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I feel really good today. I'm loving this sunshine. I just went out before and stood in the sun for 5 minutes. It was beautiful. Pardon? I'm talking to someone. I'm just going to mute Daniela. All right. So we'll give everybody a couple of minutes just to join us. Any late runners, and we'll get started in a sec. I've got, I shared a bit about a japa meditation this morning in the Instagram channel. So if you're in there, I hope you saw that. I have no idea who's in that Instagram channel because we can't actually see. So I'm seeing lots of little hearts and things. So that's good. I just don't know what else is going on. It's a bit blind, really. It feels a bit, feels a little bit narcissistic, really, just sitting in there and chatting away to everyone and not knowing actually who's there. It's a bit weird. But anyway, we give all these things a go, don't we? We give them all a go. All right. Well, we might get started with a simple meditation. So I'm just going to invite you to close down your eyes. Just take your glasses off if you've got glasses on. It just helps with the energy. Feel your seat. Feel your sit bones holding you, supporting you on the earth. Just come to focus your breath through your nose. Gently breathe in through your nose Just gently breathe out through your nose. Now I want you to feel your feet on the earth. Let's feel them there, holding you, supporting you. And while you're there. And now what I'd like you to do is visualize a beautiful, bright marigold in front of your eyes. Visualize the beautiful flower, the petals. Might be some red through the petals or some darker yellow or orange. Choose your beautiful marigold, holding it up in front of your eyes. Just holding it between your forefinger and your thumb. Just gently holding the marigold and looking at it. Noticing its textures on the petals, on the stem, on the leaves. And now I want you to get that marigold and raise it up just above your head. And just picture it there above your head, just calling in all the energy that you've expelled out during the day today. It's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm sure we've all been running around, busy, working, doing all the things that we do. So let's just call that all that energy in and suck that energy back with that beautiful marigold. Sucking it back with that marigold, all that energy coming back, and then coming back, calling it back into your crown, bringing it back into your heart. Now place that marigold, that beautiful bright marigold, at your heart center. Feeling your energy coming back to you. Coming back to center. Coming back to home. To the heart. Take a nice big deep breath in through the nose. Feel the belly, feel the chest rise up, beautiful bright light coming from that energy you've just brought back in that marigold. And then a big breath out through the mouth. Just sinking into your seat a little bit deeper. Relaxing the shoulders now. It's coming back to normal breath. Just gently bringing your breath back. Just noticing how you feel. You feel in your heart, in your body, in your mind. And then when you're ready, just gently open the eyes and come back to the room. A little shake, find some movement. Put your glasses back on. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome. I hope that was nice and energizing for you, as well as calming and relaxing. Okay, so let's have a quick review. So yesterday we had, we talked a lot about, what perimenopause is and, what are some of the causes, what are some of the symptoms, and we did a bit of homework and I have received some lovely messages. So thank you. Of what some of the red flags were. And I just wanted to recap on a couple of them that I've received from around. So one big one, and it was something that was, I got a number of times, was tiredness. So a lot of us are feeling really tired and just exhausted, which is definitely a sign of that hormonal activity happening with remember the stress hormones, the cortisol, the adrenaline is in overdrive. And yes, sleep, more sleep would be lovely. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we can sort of address that tiredness with some of our beautiful sacred practices and, cultivating some more sattva in our life. And one of those ways is obviously through meditation. And I talked a bit about the japa meditation in the Instagram channel this morning. Another thing that's really beautiful and that can really support us, and I shared it again last night as well, is the Abhyanga oil massage, which is so beautiful, and giving yourself that little bit of energy with your hands and that body work in a beautiful, dark, quiet room with a candle going, with some incense going, can really give you set yourself up beautifully for a great night's sleep. And I think that's what a lot of us are finding is like we're busy, busy, busy. We're feeling tired and exhausted, and we're constantly feeling stressed and overworked and underpaid and all the different things. And a lot of us aren't getting a good night's sleep because another big thing, another big red flag from you was the tossing and turning at night, the 3 a.m. wake up. And that's why I shared the practice of the japa meditation to give you a tool. Instead of grabbing your phone and scrolling, you can do a beautiful japa meditation, which will keep that vata fidgetiness at 3 a.m. calm and still. And so the other thing is setting ourselves up for a beautiful nighttime routine. And look, we don't have a lot of time. I get that. But let me paint the picture of my Abhyanga massage last night. It wasn't the most idyllic settings. It was quite funny. I said to my family, it was after dinner, and I said to my family, I was like, I'm exhausted. I've had a big day, like it's been a big week. I really need to go. I'm going to have a beautiful warm oil massage in the bathroom on my own. And I just need 20 minutes to myself, like not even 20 minutes. I don't think I even took 20 minutes. I think it took me longer to set up the bathroom, before the actual massage happened. So I went around the house, and look, I'd normally have these things already set up in my bathroom, but let me paint the picture. My bathroom is about this big, like you could literally swing a cat in it, and that's it. Like it's tiny. We've got 4 people. We've only got one bathroom in the house. Everybody else had already had their showers. So the bath mat was sort of a bit wet. So I had to change the bath mat. So I had a nice dry towel underneath me, one that wasn't too nice so I could get oil all over it. And then I put a candle on, I put some incense on. I kind of got smoked out because the incense was a bit too smoky in the small bathroom with the door closed. So it was a bit like, late afterwards I went back and I said, it smells like my nana's been in here when she used to smoke in the house, and she'd use like the toilet as an ashtray. And it kind of had that smoky feel. And I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, it brought back my nana, which I must be channeling, that red thread, and my grandmother. Like I thought that was quite nice. Anyway, so I've got my candle. I'll tell you a funny bit story about the candle, what I just went and had a look at in a minute. I've got the candle, got my hot oil, my beautiful sesame oil. So I've just been using a cold pressed organic sesame oil, and I've warmed it up in a bowl of boiling water, and I'm in there and I'm just starting. And next thing I hear my husband screaming at the kids, like, pick that up, do this, get that wet towel. And everyone's like trying to get in the door. And I was like, I'm in here. I put music on my phone, so I'm listening to the playlist that I've put in that I've given to you guys, the beautiful Ayurvedic self-care vibe. So I'm trying to listen to my mantra music, and I'm trying to get in the zone. Anyway, it all calmed down, and I finally got my beautiful massage. And I was like, you know what? I could have chosen so many excuses. Like I could have used all those things as an excuse and not done this, because I was exhausted. Like I was literally ready to go to bed after dinner, because this darkness comes in and I'm like, I want to go to bed. But I did. I went, no, I'm going to prioritize this, and I'm just going to do it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I had the best sleep, and it was so lovely. And I showed my family that I was holding space for myself, and that they needed to allow me to have that space. And I held that firm boundary with them for my own self-care. And sometimes people think with Ayurveda, it's like there's so many things, so many rules, so many regulations you got to have. You see all these Instagrammers and they've got like the most beautiful setup and they've got all this perfect things. And realistically, you can do your Abhyanga massage in a tiny moldy bathroom with kids screaming at the outside the door. Like, we're never going to have perfect conditions to look after ourselves. And as women, we will just go from one to another. And I could have easily just gone, had a cup of tea and jumped into bed and not done it. And I would have regretted it. That little monkey in my mind would have been saying, oh, you should have done that. Why didn't you do it? You never do anything you say you're going to do. Da, 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 da. So yeah, that's my point, is like these practices, there are a lot of tools that Ayurveda can offer us, and they don't have to be done in the most perfect conditions like we're a Vedic monk sitting up in the hills. We can do them in the quiet times in our home when everyone's gone to football training, or we can do it when everybody's, wrangling to get into bed. So the point is, make things accessible. And I've just listened recently to Atomic Habits. Has anybody listened to Atomic Habits? No, it's a great book, and we're actually going to do it as the first book in the book club for my Marigold membership, which is reopening today. The doors are reopening today, because it really aligns with Ayurveda, because what he goes through is he teaches you basically, like how to layer habits, like habit stack, how to make sure you actually do what you want to do. You want to create these beautiful new habits in your life because you want to feel better, because the way that we live our days and our hours is the way that we live our life. And by practicing these little daily habits, it can either just all go to shit, or we can actually say, okay, no, I'm going to shift things around a little bit so I can actually get this done quickly. Hi, Beth, welcome. So he talks about that. So little tweaks that you can make is, for example, I wasn't drinking enough water on my desk. So I went to Officeworks and I saw a beautiful water jug, with the little matching glass, and I've got that for my desk and it's sitting on my desk. So I'm drinking that water constantly. I'm reminded to drink it. It's like putting things into place to make it easy for you to create the habits. And once the habits are there, then we will continue to do it. And it's also about choosing the habits that are going to best serve you, or the practices, as we sort of call them in Ayurveda, that are going to best serve you in your season of life for that time. So you can choose an Abhyanga massage. My practitioner has told me that she wants me to be doing my Abhyanga massage every day. I'm like, that's just unrealistic, because I'm doing it to support my osteoarthritis. And I've got a special herbal oil, which Louise has helped me find, which is amazing, because Louise is our beautiful massage woman. And I'll be trying to do it, a couple of times a week. And I'm going to set those little things up in my bathroom so it's there. It's easy for me to pour boiling water in the bowl and warm up my massage oil. And I get it done just before I jump in the shower every evening. And the other thing is, another good thing is if you have to take, if there's herbs and things, we're going to talk a little bit about herbs and supplementation tomorrow, but putting those, he talks in the book about that, and putting those where you're going to see them and want to take them and be reminded to take them and that sort of thing. Let's just say Louise has dropped something in the chat. Even if you just do the massage on the achy, stiff parts to save time. Yeah, great tip. Thank you. That's a really great idea. Just to do it on my hips and my ankles and my knees are the worst parts. So that will save me heaps of time doing it all over my body. So Atomic Habits is a great book, and we'll be diving into that in the Marigold membership. So the other thing as well is another big red flag. I mean, there's lots of things that people are experiencing, or just at the feet of a nighttime to support sleep. Yeah, beautiful. That's a great idea as well, to oil the feet up for bed. You could pop some beautiful essential oils with that as well, like some lavender as well, which would be really lovely. Another big one, which has come up a lot, is struggling to find joy. Does anyone else struggle sometimes to just find the joy in life? Like you feel like you've lost your joy in life, in little things? Yeah, it's something that I went through probably probably 18 months ago, I went through this quite heavily and I felt quite depressed, and I felt quite down. And it's something that Mai Tawari talks about in her book as well, and some of the study that I've done with her is that reclaiming your joy, and that is it's our birthright to be joyful and to be happy. And it sounds really simple, but a few things that I did to start to reclaim that joy back in my life to get it was just to go and literally have fun and run and jump and play with the kids down the beach and do really joyful things, and even like hang out, like find a girlfriend who's an idiot like you, like my friend Becky, who's just moved up north. Like I think I posted a reel with me carrying a chandelier to a chicken coop. So it was like, she's like, I've got this chandelier, babe. Can you help me? Oh, we want to get it up. And I was like, okay, let's go. And then like we sort of walked down and we were taking footage for social media and just mucking around and having fun and acting like real idiots. And but I'm sure you've all got one of those girlfriends that you can just be really foolish with and have a lot of fun and have a lot of joy with. Like she used to live down the road from me, and my husband would be just like, what are you girls up to? Like we'd be having a barbecue and then we're like, hang on a minute. I've got this, that at my place. Let's go to your place and get it. So then we'd be like wandering the streets, going, up to my place, and we'd meet people. And it really brings back, I think when you can have those sorts of girlfriends and share that joy together, it can really bring back that youthfulness and that what we call ojas in our body. So why we're lacking the joy is because our ojas is dropping. Those beautiful sex hormones and those juicy hormones are dropping. So we can energetically help to build that by creating those really joyful moments, wholesome, fun, to take us back to our youth. Listen to music. Another thing as well is to listen to music. So beautiful mantra music and beautiful, lovely, that style of music, but also the music that you listened to when you were younger, like Alanis Morissette, The Cure. Like they were all my
Maybe go. I think go. Do you want me to take you or just get an Uber?
just get an Uber. Like keeps unmuting yourself. Um, so listen to that music as well, and that's going to bring back, our youth, if you know what I mean. Like, but it's going to really, like my husband, I dance and I sing to the Spice Girls and I do all these stupid things. And that's literally like I'm doing these things intentionally to bring that joy. And I'm lucky I've got young children, so they also bring a lot of ojas into my life and an opportunity for joy. And then so grab someone's child as well. Like I went to visit a friend. I had coffee with a friend and met her new baby last week, and that just like brought all that, that joyful yumminess, mummy, cluck, cluck, cluck type of energy back. And it just felt really nice. So adding some more of those experiences, because we can get so busy. And because we are balancing pitta and vata in this season, we can tend to get a little bit focused, that pitta energy, a bit hot, a bit angry, like, oh, leave me alone. And because we are in that stage, and I spoke about yesterday, wanting to retreat to the forest, we can get a little bit stuck in that. So that's something else that I wanted to really to bring up, to sort of push ourselves to do that a little bit. And women, like we need reminding because we do so much, and I find that we do need a lot of reminding to slow down. Which brings me to my next point, is how we begin our days is how we end our days. And we can really have a beautiful bookend. We can really bookend our days, starting with our mornings, which is something we call in Ayurveda and yoga, which is sadhana. So this is cultivating a beautiful, conscious, spiritual practice. So whatever that looks like for you and whatever your beliefs are, it can be really as simple as waking before the whole house or waking before the sun, which is the best time to wake, sitting mindfully. So I'll give you an example of what my sadhana practice looks like in the morning. I hop out of bed. I make I have a ginger and cinnamon hot water, like warm water, because that's to help aid my digestion and our cortisol and blood sugar levels with the cinnamon. And I sip that mindfully. Well, actually, I let that cool down because I've been making it fresh each morning. I used to do it the night before, but it was a little bit strong. So now I'm just easing back a little bit. I make that fresh. I come into my office where I've got my little altar set up and my lounge, and I just sit on my lounge, and I do a couple of rounds of Nadi Shodhana, which is a pranayama, which is a breath work. And it is a beautiful way to balance the feminine and the masculine and just bring some balance back into our being. And I wanted to share with, has everyone else practiced that? Do you know what that looks like? No? So what it is you want to just get your feet firmly on the floor, pop your feet on the floor, and we just might go through a couple of rounds. This is a beautiful way to start the day. It's going to bring energy into your body. It's going to help to balance the both sides, the masculine and the feminine, and the sun and the moon. It's going to balance those, which we really need at this season of our life. Nice straight back, and get your pointer finger and your middle finger and just gently place it on your third eye, the middle of your forehead. Take your glasses off. Yep, that's it. Perfect. So just gently place the fingers there. And then what you want to do is just gently rest the thumb on that right nostril and then your ring finger on the left nostril. Now close down the eyes and just take one breath through both nostrils just to get a bit of air in. Nice deep breath and just let it go. And then what you want to do is gently close down the left nostril, leaving the right nostril open. And you want to breathe gently in through the right. And then you want to close that right nostril off and then breathe out through the left. And then in through the left. And then out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. And you can gently keep practicing that. You can do that for as little as 5 rounds. And one full round is in through the right, out through the left, in through the left, out through the right. So it's a bit like a, in, out, you're sort of going around. And that's going to really help to just, to balance you. So I do that in the morning for as long as I feel like I want to. I'm just very intuitive with it. I then just take a moment to just sit in pure stillness and just like soak that in, just soak that pranayama, that prana, that energy into my body, and just feels so beautiful. And then what I do is I have a little sip of my my ginger and my cinnamon, and then I'll do my japa meditation. And the giveaway today is some mala beads and a little bag as well. So when you're sharing with me, I know it's hard to share a lot of this stuff on socials, so sharing with me or on socials, you'll go into the draw to win that. And then I'll do my japa meditation. And then even if all I get done is that for the day, even if I just get done some Nadi Shodhana and sipping on warm water, I've really taken that moment to create some space. And I notice a massive difference in my day. I will tend to get up sometimes and just sort of get, when you get up and you just get straight into life and you're like making breakfast and you're feeding dogs and doing this and doing that. It can all get a little bit too busy. So when you make that time for yourself in the morning, it's really going to help your stress levels throughout the day. And we know that with perimenopause and menopause, one of the biggest contributing factors to our symptoms is our stress. So if we can get that balancing and starting our day, and I know that if I have that little bit of sadhana in the morning, then I can cope so much better with the little stresses and the big stresses that come up through the day, and my relationships and my work and all the things, because I know that I've given myself that time. And it's like a gift, it's our right and privilege, but we're also gifting it to ourselves. Okay. And then if I've got time, sometimes I feel like I've got lots of time and sometimes I don't. I will do a sun salutation. So I'll do a little bit of yoga. And now I was in India in January, and we went to see a Jyotish, which is a Vedic astrologer. And he basically told me, like, there are a couple of things that had stuck with me that I remember, but he said, do a little, because they do your timeline and your life, and they say, between this year and this year, good. Between this year and this year, challenging. And they sort of do like a bit of a timeline. And he kept going past, and he went right past 100. And then he kind of stopped, and I was like, and they don't like to tell you anything negative. And then he kind of stopped, and I was like, oh, so I'm going to live up to 100. It's like, that's awesome. He says, yes, yes, but do a little yoga and align with the seasons daily. And that's what he said. And then they, you know, like, he didn't speak a lot of English, but I got that, and I was like, that is so, yeah, so true, because I said to him afterwards, I said, and he said it picked up on my my hip and a few different things, and he was like, you got to do a little yoga. You've got to do a little yoga. So in the morning, I will, if anything, I will just, sometimes I'll literally do a downward dog or a forward fold or some lunges or something in my kitchen while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil. And I'm like, and I keep hearing his voice, like, do a little yoga, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And he would say, like, that's all you need to do, but you've got to move your body first thing in the morning. And, you know, I don't have the luxury of doing an hour of yoga every morning because it's just too busy in my household. Maybe one day, and it's too small a house, one day when I've got a specific yoga room, I might. So yeah, so it's really important. And this is the ancient wisdom. This goes back thousands of years. Okay. And we've, you know, there's a reason that we're still doing it today. Okay, so it must work, in my opinion, you know, and it definitely must work. So that's what my sadhana looks like, and it can be really simple, of just taking the mundane things that we do as well, like doing the dishes, gardening out in the garden, and it's all sadhana when we do it with intention and with a conscious mind. How does that feel for everybody? Do you think that you could sort of do that, like add a few little things in? Absolutely awesome. Now, the next thing I wanted to share, we talked a little bit about sipping mindfully, the mantra. I've got my notes so I don't go off track. Another thing that is really, that's come up a lot with people is stiffness in the joints. So do a little yoga. But the stiffness in the joints and the pain, and sometimes like the full body pain. And I mentioned it a little bit yesterday, but one of my teachers said to me, you know, like, it's anger and resentment manifesting in the body. Okay, so something that will really help with that, if you can, and I mentioned it with the japa meditation, like the japa meditation is going to help break through some of that resistance and that resentment that you're storing in your body. The yoga and the gentle movements, the walking in nature, and then even if you can, look at getting some energy healing to help in those areas. So we're not just treating the physical body with pain panadols and massages and all that beautiful, you know, those beautiful things as well. But, you know, with pharmaceuticals, we're also really thinking about doing the work as far as our emotional and energetic healing goes as well. So that's something that I wanted to bring up. You know, it's very easy to say, you know, do yoga and massage yourself and do all these things. But if we're not dealing with that energetic healing, it can just get trapped in our body and find it really hard to move through. And that's something else that we'll be working and doing a bit of energetic healing as we do inside the Marigold membership as well. We've got, yeah, so that's beautiful. Excellent. All my notes. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Or anything they'd like to share? Yeah, beautiful. Now, another thing, the resentment. So coming back to the resentment as well, I wanted to share with you, and it's in the book, if you've had a chance to download the Ayurveda book that I put on the landing page, and it's a blessing prayer. So I know that we've probably all got people in our lives, relationships that are strained, and it's a big part of how we are, who we are, and how we are in the world. And it can be hard to let go of certain things, or if you've got, like, for example, I'll give you an example. I have a brother who is You know, he's a drug addict basically, and he's got 4 beautiful daughters, and I'm angry at him because he's such a dead shit and he doesn't look after his children, and is not the brother that I grew up with, you know, and there's a lot of there's still a lot of, and I get emotional thinking about it. There's a lot of disappointment, a lot of resentment towards him, and a lot of anger, you know, like I'm pitter and I'll hold, like I'm angry. Um and I've had to call firm boundaries with him because I can't have him around my family. And we had lots of dramas with him a couple of years ago over Easter, and there was restraining orders on my parents, and there was lots of stuff that happened. It got really bad. That was sort of the peak of it. And ever since then, I've held a firm boundary. My husband and I have said, no, we don't, you know, as much as he is the kid's uncle, my boy's uncle, and he's my brother, we can't have that, you know, that energy around us. So we've called some firm boundaries around that, which, you know, it upsets me and it breaks my heart because, you know, I've tried to help him, you know, like this is the end, you know, we've all tried to help him. um, and anyway, so this blessing prayer came along at a really beautiful, at that point in my life. I was reading a book by Sharon. So it's Sharon Gannon. Um, and she is the founder of Jivamukti Yoga. And she's got a book. What's it called? Can anyone remember the book? It's called, anyway, I'll find the book. I've got it on my e-reader and I'll drop the notes in the notes, but it's all little daily spiritual practices. And one of the prayers in it is called the blessing prayer. And what it is, it's about sending love and blessings to those people that you're holding a bit of, you know, uncomfortableness with. Okay. And she talks through the blessing prayer, and we go through the prayer that, you know, we start with people that we love and it's easy to send blessings to. And we work up to those people that we're holding on to resentment for and we're finding hard to send those blessings to. So those people that are like my next door neighbor who wrecked my car, you know, like I've got to send him blessings. So if you've read my post about that, I was very angry about that. So, you know, I probably should be doing the blessing prayer to him. But anyway, so I digress. So yeah, so this is a really beautiful prayer, and I wanted to run through it with you now, so you could experience it. And I'm going to read it through, and you'll have access to this as well, and you can read it, and it's really easy. And we will just silently, I'll speak it, and then I'll just silently read it through to you and just see how it feels in your body. And we can go from there. How does that sound? Sound good? All right, so we're going to close down the eyes. And we're going to sit comfortably, feeling our sit bones, just becoming aware of our breathing gently in through the nose and out. And I want you to start to visualize some people in your life, those that are close to you, that you know, that you love, and silently say the words, blessings to, and their name, as you inhale. And then as you exhale, say the name of someone, another person. This might be a partner or a child. Just continue now for a few moments, extending your blessings to include all of your family and friends. It's breathing in, blessings to. As you exhale, say their name. Breathing in, blessings to. As you exhale, say their name. As you breathe in, blessings to. As you exhale, say their name. Then move on to others, such as your past, maybe old boyfriends or old girlfriends, female friends, neighbors, bosses, and co-workers. Making sure to include others with whom you now have or in the past have had more difficult relationships with. Blessings too, as you inhale. Say their name as you exhale. Just continue this as you're working through. So you've exhausted the list that come to mind. And just noticing as well how your body's feeling as you're running through this list of people. Is there somewhere you could relax? Can you drop your shoulders? Relax into your chair. Let go of that tension. Can you feel tension in one part of your body more so than the other? Notice it. See if you can soften it. Over time, you're feeling like you've exhausted that list. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back to the room. Noticing how you feel. And with this practice consistently over time, we can feel those difficult situations in people when we start to think about them and feel them, and they, you know, as we see them in our life, we'll start to feel a lot more peace towards them and a lot more blessings towards them. And sometimes magically, it's like magic. Magic 10, I think the book's called, by Sharon Gannon. Magic 10, I think. It just came to me. Over time, those relationships could start to ease. At least the way that you feel towards that person will start to ease. And I've had students in my life that have done this, and people that I know that have done this have said all of a sudden they'll go past that old friend at the supermarket and she smiles, the one that didn't talk to her because of whatever reason 10 years ago, which is really interesting. Or that person will just pop up in your life that you haven't seen for a long time, and you know, things will shift or change. They will start to heal, whatever it be. But I guess the moral of the story is, you know, it's not serving us. Holding on to sort of, you know, resentment and sending ill wishes to people is not serving us. It's only going to manifest in other ways. And that's a tool that I really wanted to share with you that's been beautiful in my life, and has really helped me to release some of that anger from my body and resentment. Now, that is in the booklet along with the Nadi Shodhana. That's also in the ebook as well. So you can read a little bit more about that. So that is a lot of, you know, there's quite a few tools there that we can use for different situations, that are beautiful, energetic healing, spiritual support. That's not going to cost us anything, you know, which is what I really love. I mean, out there's so much out there about perimenopause. It's like, lift this weights, eat this proteins, take these supplements, do these things. And, you know, a lot of it is, and that's why I've created, you know, wanted to create this free 3-day event and my Marigold membership, which is a beautiful membership that, as I said before, is launching today and relaunching today, revisioned to support women energetically, physically, and emotionally through this beautiful season of life. So, I really love those. Those are my favorites. Does anybody else have anything that they do that they would like to share or any experiences with different trusted practices and cultivating more sattva in their life and building, the ojas. Remember, the ojas is the juiciness, the sattva is the goodness, the light, the joy in there. So that is, really, just having a look at my notes.
Edwina, I'll add a practice. It's Louise.
Hello.
I love practicing the yoga nidra, particularly through this perimenopausal time, because that builds ojas as well. And you can even have one like recorded on your phone. I mean, with practice, you'll just do it in your head, but if you're tired, you might just fall asleep. But if you're out at work, even one of my teachers said to me, even in your tea break or your lunch break or something, if you've got 5 minutes, just duck out to your car or a quiet spot and just do a sitting up one, closing the eyes, and you can even record your own voice from one that you've read or find one on YouTube. And it just helps to revive and just it builds that loving kindness for yourself. Yes, I found that really useful.
Yeah, I love Yoga Nidra as well. And there's actually a lot already pre-records in our Marigold membership. And I find it so beneficial. That's another thing I'll do at 3 a.m. in the morning as well if I wake up. It's another one you can pop a Yoga Nidra in your ears. It's really great. And Yoga Nidra it's basically like yogic sleep. So it gets you into that place between waking and sleeping where we can get some really beautiful rest but still be conscious and awake. But you're sort of in that, that little in-between stage where you're just about to fall to sleep and you don't quite, and it gets out. Yeah, it's just really beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Thank you. It's like blissful. Yoga Nidra is blissful. Yeah. Trudy, you've got your hand up.
I take my hand down. I have found that one of my greatest tools and gift in my day is waking up consciously. So instead of like when I have a lot of people and they come in, it's massage or in whatever way, their mums and life's crazy or wherever we're at, I say to them, like how often do you just, when you wake up, just pause and feel your breath coming into your body and exhaling? How many times when you wake up, rather than you're out in the kitchen making coffee, getting lunches, you literally feel yourself put your feet on the ground before you get out of bed. So I find those are something that they're like that precursor, we kind of open our eyes, we get up, we go to the loo, we do whatever, but I don't know, I just find being conscious from that moment that I awaken and just pause to connect with my breath, I find that my day is so much more balanced. I have a better day. If I've had a crazy day, generally I haven't done like my sadhana practice in the morning or just taken a moment to pause and breathe and wake up.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, Trudy. And I actually think that's another one of the Magic 10 from Sharon Gannon's book, is waking like consciously, laying in your bed and actually taking that moment to sink into gratitude for the day rather than what am I going to do? Quick look at my phone. What time is it? What's happening on social media? All the things. It's like, really consciously sinking into gratitude before you do anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And as yourself and Louise mentioned, the Yoga Nidra, like with being a massage therapist and people have tight necks and shoulders and things. And I sort of always suggest to them, if you had a busy, crazy day, don't just hop into bed and go to sleep. Like check in with your breath first and do a Yoga Nidra or something, like be more conscious on how you're going into your sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. Yeah.
Absolutely. It really does make a big difference. And sleep is so important. And even just you're being conscious going into sleep, being conscious coming out of sleep, and then being conscious to sort of be getting into bed. Like I'm loving the time change back. Like I used to love my long sunshiny days, but now it's actually, I'm really enjoying this year. Just this year it's hit me. It's like I really like, it's nighttime at 7 o'clock. You know, it's not still daylight at 7 o'clock. So we're having dinner earlier. So Ayurveda loves us to have dinner by 6 p.m. because we need to be having our meals. And we'll talk a bit more about this tomorrow, about timings and foods and different things, because what's also happening on top of the cortisol and the adrenaline pumping around at night and keeping us awake is our digestive system is going into overdrive. And I've noticed this with my, if I steer off course with what I'm normally eating, and I'm eating normally and well, if I go and have Indian for dinner, takeaway, or pizza, which we do once a week in our house, like we don't not eat takeaways and junk foods, but we'll do that once a week. I will wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. without a doubt on those nights, because there's too much salt in my system. There's too much like processed fats and sugars and all the things that my digestive system is just cannot digest. So it's waking me up. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So we've talked about, you know, like, and we're also digesting everything else that happens in our life, our stress, our experiences, our interactions, and all those sorts of things as well. So getting into that beautiful routine of the evenings now are nice and dark here in New South Wales. So we're having dinner at 6 o'clock. I'm noticing I'm getting up from my desk and I'm getting dinner's ready to go. By the time they get home from football training and everything's happening, it's done. They're showered. They're jumping into bed at 7:20. My kids weren't going to bed until 9 o'clock in the summer. And I'm just like exhausted. I'm like, go the fuck to sleep, go to bed. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm done. I want to go to bed. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the darker nights. It's really good and getting into that season. Okay, so tomorrow will be our final session, and we're going to look at nutrition that is going to really nurture us and serve us. So food as medicine. And we're going to look at how we can balance that pitta vata that's going on at the moment in this season. We'll look at routines. We're going to look at foods that we can consume that are going to support all these red flags and all these symptoms that we've got going on. We're also going to look at beverages. I've got some beautiful tonics and things to share with you. So I'm going to share some recipes with you. And we're going to also look a little bit at Ayurvedic herbs as well, and what herbs could support you, as well as a couple of supplements and a couple of other little different things too. So there'll be lots of juicy. Everyone loves this topic when we start talking about food and supplements and herbs and things, because I think, you know, I wanted to really start with the sacred practices and the rituals and the stress management and those sorts of things, because when we can get that right, then we can, and our actual food as medicine, then we can start to really look at what we're eating and different herbs and supplements. So Ayurveda teaches us to get our daily routines and our daily rituals and things down pat. And then, everything else sort of falls into place. And there's another big topic, which is quite a big topic, and I didn't want to dive too much into it over these 3 days, but something to pop on your radar. And I do have it, so you do have the content at your fingertips, is all about Dinacharya. So Dinacharya is our morning routines, and I'll quickly touch on that actually before I go. So there's a page in the book, and this will form part of your sadhana practice in the morning, like your morning routine. And it's the dry body brushing to run, you know, the toxins through, to clear the dead skin cells off, to do all of those sorts of things. So that's called Gashana, which is that dry body brushing with, I use essential oils with that. I've got a beautiful essential oil that doTERRA does called Metapower, which is grapefruit, cinnamon, and peppermint, and it helps to disperse the fatty tissues around, and you'll see less cellulite. So if you're doing your dry body brushing and then adding this essential oil to the top of it, it's absolutely beautiful. Just grapefruit on its own is another really great one, because it helps to support lymphatic drainage and the immune system too. So that dry body brushing in the morning is really beautiful, and it's a great way to start the day, especially if you're feeling a little bit of brain fog. a dry body brush is a great way to start the day. And then all the instructions are in the ebook that I gave you. We talked about Abhyanga massage. That is all in there as well, a little bit about that. And then there is also, which is not in this one. Actually, it's not in this one. Where is it? I must have dropped a page off. There's also the tongue scraping, which is a really great one. So even if you just do 2 things of a morning in your dinacharya, I would recommend the tongue scraping and the dry body brushing, because what the tongue scraping does is it helps to remove ama from our system, which is the toxin build up overnight that can come out through our tongue. So the tongue scraping is another one. But that's a whole nother session on its own. And I've got, actually, there's some pre-recorded sessions in the Marigold membership as well on all of that, which goes deeper into dinacharya. I think I've even got some reels on social media and other content floating around on my blog as well about all of that. Okay, so that's tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that physical body and the digestion and building ojas and sattva, building that ojas with what we eat and what we consume in the physical body. So anyone got any other questions that they would like? Oh, Trudy's just dropped. I am really feeling drawn to some herbs and supplements lately on top of my herbs and spices in my kitchery. Yeah, beautiful. Tomorrow will be great for you, Trudy. You'll really enjoy it. And reclaiming your joy is a huge focus in my program and transpersonal life coaching. Yeah, I feel it becomes so in our face as we transition through peri and menopause. Absolutely. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you're watching the recording, my emails are open for questions. My DMs are open for questions. I'm here for you. All right. Thank you so much. Namaste.